Everything he could to try and get the Pacquiao rematch in Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately for me, I'm the guy that got it. So I have to live with a little bit of criticism that comes with it. Everybody else will follow, like they told me the other day. Every promoter's been on since. Oh, we can deliver this fight, that fight. No, let's not kid ourselves. What do you think? Any promoter wants to go wherever the most money is for their fights. And that's what we're doing. But what I will say is, I've experienced it, I've seen it, and every occasion has been absolutely first class. The logistics are on a level I've never seen before. In London, in New York, it's not even comparable. This event will blow everybody away on December 7th, and the world will be watching.
Eddie, talk about the decision-making process, and I apologize that we went over this before, but how did the fight get to Saudi?
So RUIZ made it quite clear he didn't want to come to the UK. We were basically ready to go for Wales, and they came in with an offer, which, you know, we've had offers before from that region that have never materialised. So I didn't take it too seriously. Then we explored it, they wouldn't let it go. I put it to the fighters, to Anthony, he was blown away by the offer. And I spoke to RUIZ's team and they said we'd much rather go to Saudi Arabia than the UK. So eventually, the deal made sense and we made it happen.
Eddie, just got a quick minute. Yeah. Thanks for your time. I'm going to get straight to the point. You know, people are asking about Saudi Arabia, and it doesn't. For me, it's about the fighters.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting rematch. How do you see the rematch going, and what changes do you think AJ's going to bring in the rematch, stylistically and training-wise, prior to it?
Well, I think stylistically and mentally, there's got to be a lot of changes. I think he wasn't up for the fight. Like, he had no feeling for the fight. He really wanted to do damage to Jarrell Miller. Yeah. Then Andy Ruiz stepped in. Didn't really know about him. Yeah. Seemed like a nice guy, and then went in there and just thought that he could bulldoze him. Nearly did, and then got hit by a shot he never recovered from. Yeah. So, but he didn't box great even in the early rounds, and he knows that. So he needs to make sure. I've never seen him this focused before, probably since the Klitschko fight, where it's the first time where no one's talking about what's next. People are just talking about an individual. Yeah. So he's got to put a game plan in place to beat an individual rather than, oh, you've got to beat him, then you've got to fight Wilder, then you've got to fight Fury. Yeah. And I think that helps a regimental guy like AJ to get his head around the game plan and what he's got to do.
Brilliant. KSI, you know, Logan Paul, everyone's talking about it. There's pros, cons. Yeah. Can you know, for people are criticising it for the standard of boxing. I don't know if they were around when Andrew Flintoff got in a boxing ring, but it can't be any worse than that.
Well, the first fight was good. Listen, when they announced the first fight, I was the quickest person to say, what a joke, right? It sold out the Manchester Arena in like a day. It did 1.4 million pay-per-view buyers, and it was actually quite a good fight. Like, they were in great shape. I couldn't believe the demographic of the audience. I mean, much younger, much more energetic. And they came to me to stage the rematch. So when they done that, I was like, oh no, because I know I've got to do it, but I know I'm going to get so much stick. I said to him, I'll only do it on a number of reasons. Number one is, if we're going to bring this new audience to the sport, we have to have other proper championship fights on the undercard, world championship fights. So we got a chance to show that audience amazing boxing. Yeah. If you want to do it, you've got to respect the code and do what everybody else does. Yeah. So you've got to turn pro. Well, how's that work? I said, you've got to go for your medicals, you've got to go before the commission and try and get your licence. Yeah. They did that. I said, you've got to lose your head guards. That didn't go down well with the management. You know, like, well, it's a bit dangerous. I said, yeah, but boxing's dangerous. Yeah. Right? You guys are two pretty good athletes. I watched the first fight, it was decent, and you've got to use 10-ounce gloves. Oh. So now we're in a real fight. So one of my arguments is, well, they're really respecting the code. They're not going out there, not training, not getting licensed, you know, wearing head guards, wearing big gloves. They're doing it for real. Yeah. And I can't, we're all naive if we just think that we should just ignore an opportunity for a massive global audience to witness and experience our sport. Like every interview that all you guys do today, if you get one of these guys on Fight Week, that'll do 40, 50 times more than this interview. So you're stupid if you don't do it. No, but they will. All right, maybe 10. But you know, we have to. I've been a boxing fan for over 30 years. Right, I've grown up in the sport. I know it's not world championship boxing. It's two guys who have bigger fan bases than Joshua, than Fury, Wilder, Mayweather put together. Right. Yeah. So if they're bringing eyeballs to the sport, if we can get 5% of those people to stay and start following boxing, I see it in America. We're struggling on the gate. Bob Arum's struggling on the gate. Al Heyman's struggling on the gate. So shouldn't we try to improve those things?
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And the fact is that the eyes around the world are going to be watching professional boxing. And I see other people saying, "Oh, you're going to put Devin Haney on the undercard? That's so disrespectful." Why? What? Disrespectful to let a sold-out Staples Centre and millions of people around the world, a young, vibrant audience, watch and learn about Devin Haney? I think it's fucking genius as far as I'm concerned. Sorry about my language, sorry.
And also, he's probably getting the undercard fighters probably going to get career high paydays, possibly.
Well, they will do, but they won't earn as much as KSI and Logan Paul.
Oh, no.
But I see other fighters moaning about that. You know, fighters that may not have earned a lot out of the sport. Oh, we give our life to the sport. And you know, these two just walk in and make a load of money. Tough shit. These guys have carved their own career, their own following. This is what they do. You know, they create events, mega events, and they earn a lot of money. Wake up and smell the coffee. This is the new world. Kids see KSI and Logan Paul as heroes, as role models. Right or wrong, I'm a father. I don't really want my kids want to be like Logan Paul necessarily, but it's there, it exists.
Yeah.
So whereas a hero of the past might be, you know, an American football player, this is the new generation. This is what they watch. This is how they digest content. So go with it.
And my final question is, you touched on the undercard for KSI and
Yeah,
Logan
already
Paul.
be on the card as well. So expect a lot of heavyweight fights on that card.
Any chance of SADAM Ali, KELL BROOK?
Possibly. I think you know, everybody, when you stage an event in the Middle East, everyone automatically looks at sort of anyone
Middle
from
East.
those fights, and of course that makes sense. But you know, I think it's a global event, and Saudi Arabia are going to want a lot of global film.
All right, brilliant. Thanks
Cheers,
for your
mate.
time, Eddie. Can I get a film?
Yeah, go on, mate.
Sorry about this, everyone. Quite you. Yeah, he's my photographer, then what? Thanks a lot, Eddie. Cheers, mate.
I'll stay down there. That's great.